Have another beer, buddy.
Chatty chat chat chat. I think that they probably said that being shorter is advantageous.
Well, they need to teach me then. There you go. So we had to poke a little fun at him. Call you Ginger Swag.
Yeah. If you weren't bowlers, what would you have liked to have done instead? Anything else. Literally anything else.
That's a great answer.
The horse is so dead that it's on some kid's school project on a landfill already.
And there you have
that one before.
No. We'll talk about that one more.
Terrible idea.
What's up?
Forgot to put the background back up.
Backdrop? What? For the.
Come on. That's what I clicked. There.
Can you hear us okay?
Good there.
Okay. We haven't both been in person in a while together, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to finally worked out here. So we got several things to talk about tonight. Appreciate everybody that's joining and that is watching later. We're going to start off with one of the Vern specials was a Sierra Nevada torpedo 16 pack or 12 pack or whatever the crap. It had 4 different types in there. And so we're going to start off with the Imperial, the Atomic Torpedo Imperial IPA. So been saving these for, like you said, it's been a while, so I've been saving these for
the show.
Yeah.
Gee, Jonathan's we're at his poll again. Yeah, it's all.
Mm-hmm.
It's been waiting for me. All right, let's try this.
And this one's surprising because it's 9.2%, but it just doesn't hit like a heavy one.
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
That's
you can tell
9.2?
there's some extra body to it, but it doesn't hurt like an Imperial normally does. When you drop Jonathan's name, you get the best service at a brewery in Topeka. Interesting.
I went on a Topeka Brew Tour this weekend, by the way.
Yeah.
We had every one of them in Topeka, but apparently I found out there is one in town that is brand new.
Mm-hmm.
It's called like Bearded Beast Brewing or hair.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Is it that dog one that's over in Arrowhead Shopping Center or whatever?
The one that's right next to Kiku or Yuki?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Is that one new?
Okay. Yeah, it's new.
Okay.
We talked about it like a year or so ago because you can bring dogs in or something like that.
Yeah.
And then just completely forgot about it.
So we hit all the breweries but once, and now I feel like a failure.
Mm-hmm.
So we technically didn't take a brew tour, but we hit all of them but that one. So and we did flights at every one of them, and have some food. I'm a failure, I know. Where did Ghost go to cool off from the summer heat? Lake Erie.
That one's pretty good.
I like that one actually.
Yeah, like that. That's clever. I'm not mad at that one at all.
No, that's that one's not boo worthy.
Mm-hmm. Ghosts.
Unless you
boo.
say, yeah, okay, I
Get
get
it.
I get it now.
Boo this man.
Boo this man.
Yeah. Last day drama at the OC. Yes, there's also some, I guess, fortunate or unfortunate happenings depending on which side of the thing you're on.
Yeah.
Really disappointed for Brad.
I am too.
Because I thought it was going to be something really cool to talk about and have him on the show, and especially after the way that his year went on tour. I thought, what better way to rebound? And now, second place is still pretty nice, but it's, again, he was in the lead for an awful long time, and to have that go down and to lose out on it in the very last day.
Yeah. The very last squad.
Is just...
like, that's just a kick right in the leg.
That's just one of those naturally, that just figures.
Keeping a PG there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. I saw that and I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
He'll still get a nice check though.
Yeah, he'll get a nice check, and I think he gets a watch for it and whatever else, but
lots of stuff to sift through here. So let people kind of filter in here for just a minute here and kind of get going. How many we got here? 35, right, Curly?
Yep. Yeah, we'll talk about Our nationals.
Well, yours.
How that went, yeah. How that went a couple weeks ago, and then the Luci just wrapped up, and then we've got a little bit of drama with the Jonesboro PBA, PBA 50, and PWBA trios. That seems like it's going to be fairly underwhelming.
Which is unfortunate because the format is really cool.
Yeah. That's the first time that they've done something like that before, but I think it was poorly scheduled.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
So
it would make it. We can talk about it as we get there, though. So that way we don't jump. I'm assuming you will. You want to start with nationals since we kind of started off with that with Brad and talk a little bit about your experience at the Open Championships this year.
Yeah, we can talk some nationals. I'm not sure when we'll. I mean, now the tournament's over today. Like the finals, everything is wrapped up, and so they should be whenever. I don't know how many people bought the videos or whatever.
Did you guys buy one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Nico was asking when we'll be getting the video from nationals, and I did just however long it's going to take to send them out.
Is it just a digital send out, or they send you like a disc?
They used to send us a like flash drive or something. Now it's just Dropbox.
Oh.
They just do Dropbox, and we can download it, and everything's super. So all they really have to do is just send us the email.
How much was it for team event?
I think it's $100 a squad.
So you can do your doubles and singles too.
Mm-hmm.
So $300 total to do it.
It was $100 a squad.
Oh, okay.
Not per event. So,
okay.
So it was $200.
$200. So yeah, that
to
makes
get
sense.
it done.
Sorry for the screw up there. $200 is not bad though.
Yeah, it's not bad
if you split it.
Yeah. Now at the same time, I could take my own camera. And now, not a lot of people can do that, but I could take my own camera and set it up and get our own video. But I think that's part of the
experience.
Part of the whole why they won't release the patterns thing and why they don't do live streaming anymore and whatever else is so that they can make that money because at the Bowler's Journal, you're bowling on the double and singles pattern, and team practice session, you're bowling on the team pattern. And then if you pay to get your video, then that's a couple $100 more for them. And so they get a whole lot more entries into the BJ. They get a whole lot more team practice sessions booked. And that's just more money and more money and more money and more money. And so if they were to start releasing patterns, then, people may not be as inclined to bowl the Bowler's Journal so often.
Yeah.
For example, we were down there with Felicia Wong, and she bowled 4 or 5 Bowler's Journals.
Goodness. She's the Canadian lefty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and that's one of those things for a better bowler like her, you want to take as many shots as you can because she did end up shooting 750, one of the squads.
Oh, nice.
Ramsden shot 750, one of the squads. James bowled with somebody from one of the other groups, and they got to 1400 for doubles. Dallas also shot 750 something in singles. So we had several good sets in the BJ out of our squad. Ryan Klaus did really well in team.
What did he end up shooting team-wise?
680 or 690. Like it was 240, 240 or something like that. And I might not be remembering the numbers.
For team event,
right,
that's pretty good.
Yeah. Team event.
Didn't team event end up being the shorter one this year?
Yeah, team was the short, flat, tough one. And again, the Bowler's Journal played different. I bowled it twice, and then some of the other ones, I think James bowled it 3 or 4 times. Dallas and Chaz bowled it a couple times, and every single time it was different.
Yeah.
So it just didn't play similar.
Right. Was there a reason that you didn't bowl it more than twice, or just got tired of it?
Well, the first one, I always like to bowl one when we get there that first night, just to kind of get loose and start getting things figured out. And okay, well, what do I think I'm going to be working with? What balls can I just eliminate right now? Because I took 8, but I'm only going to take 6 into each squad. And it's like, okay, well, if this ball's not even going to be in play, I don't even want to carry it in there because the whole stupid walkout crap. And so the first one is just more or less get loose, get some equipment figured out, whatever else. The second one is, okay, well, I'm going to bowl this one for score now. But it was different from the first time we bowled it. The first time we bowled it, it was really wet
Right.
And the second time, you can tell it's the same pattern, but it just, again, feels like bowling in two different centers in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Depending on which side of the house, or the center at South Point that you're at, one of them felt like bowling at Summit, and the other one felt like we were bowling at Olathe or something. Or
that's a big difference.
Yeah, just because one of them they were hooking. You could tell it was the same pattern, but one time it was really hooking, and the other time it was just. It's like, okay, so I have no idea on this. And then team practice, the team was the tougher pattern, but we've seen some awful rough scores from. I mean, Brad Angelo's group was down there. And these guys practice for months and months. They have a couple Eagle winners in the group. Brad has national titles, and their teams got to 3150 and 3250. Now, comparatively, those are really great scores in the team event at nationals. But if you're talking about professional bowlers and basically professional amateurs that are struggling to average 210 on something, and you're putting a pattern like that down for league bowlers, the average in USBC is 175 on a house shot, not on something that's harder than patterns you'd see at the Masters or the US Open.
I just don't understand why they would ever. I shouldn't say that. I understand why they do it, but I don't understand why they feel like they have to make them so hard.
Yeah, I understand. Again, and Jared Raymond had a video about this that I really liked, and he was talking about scoring paces, and they've had some really crazy. The PBA season was crazy high. They'd have some where there's a lot of people averaging 240 or shooting these gigantic sets, and then you'd have some that were just absolutely brutal. And he's like, I don't know why we can't have like a 210 to 220 scoring pace is about right. Any harder than that, and you're talking about the best in the world that can't average, and the averages are under 200, that's kind of ridiculous. Once they start getting above 220, it's more of a carry contest.
Yeah.
The power game comes more into a factor. Under 210, at 200, you're not even rewarding good shots at that point.
No.
Because you don't have to do a whole lot to shoot 200. You've got to spare, hit the pocket, make spares, and catch a double once. And if you are a professional, again, we bowl with Zach Wilkins quite a bit on stuff, and that guy can just repeat shots and ace shot after shot after shot. And if you're telling me that the best in the world are struggling to average 200 or 210 on something, that tells me it's too hard.
Yeah.
It's just too hard. But bowlers like to be sadists sometime for some reason. It's like, oh, we'll just make them tough and make people show up and do stuff. It's like, well, but you want to make them make good shots, but you want to have the good shots rewarded. You want to weed out stuff like the Brooklyns and just the random, okay, strike Brooklyn, and then that's playing a significant factor.
Yeah.
If you just soften them up a little bit, then you don't have that kind of nonsense. Doesn't become so much of a factor when the scoring pace is a little bit higher. But again, if it gets too high, then it's like all you have to do is just kind of, then it's just the power game. You can overpower the pins.
Yep. You're spot on. So how did your sets go? Oh, we've talked, but
I shot 450 in team. Part of that was self-inflicted from missing spares. My timing was a little bit off with my spares, and so I probably gave away 50 pins in spares. But if I spare everything, I'm right there with Chaz at 510. There was just zero on the left, and our topography was like that. So it was 45 and 46, and it was hooking off the planet for the righties. The topography was just awful. And so when you're on something short, flat, and you're bowling uphill, it almost makes it feel like a reverse block.
Oh, yeah.
And now the righties had everything hooking off the planet. They didn't have a much better look than we did. They had something a little bit more predictable. And, of course, when you're on the right side, you can break the lanes down. And eventually you do get a little bit of relief. But it was just difficult. It was just difficult. Ryan made some really good shots. I don't think after him, I'll just go ahead and pull up the.
Did he throw your thing by chance?
He threw the Rattler new.
Oh, okay.
And he kind of bounced around, and I'll talk about this because I'm going to do a voiceover over this stuff. And
Rattler knew, huh?
Yeah. And again, this is one of those things where it's a little frustrating for me because I feel the need to explain, like, look, I'm not left-handed. I'm bowling, and somebody says, oh my God, you got your channel and you got logos on and you shoot 450. That must be great. It's like, okay, well, you switch hands and try it too.
Well, even good lefties didn't bowl. Like, guys that done it for years haven't put numbers up. I mean, Trevor struggled with the team. He said it was impossible.
Well, see, that's the other thing too, is that Spencer shot 560. Matt McNeil shot 550. And if you're telling me, and that's what I went into it thinking, it's like, if you're telling me that those guys averaged 185 on this, how I'm just, so I didn't even really pay too much attention to what I shot in team. But yeah, a lot of it was, 130 something, 140 something, 160 something were my sets. And OC team, let me see.
Well, you got better every game at least.
I was 10 of 19 on makeable spares.
In team event alone?
Yeah. I was 2 for 4 on the 7-pin. I was 1 for 3 on the 4-7. I had a couple washouts in there. And then there's a couple times I missed the head pin and wasn't able to convert the spare, but there were several pins. So it sounds worse than it was. But if I just spared the makeable stuff that I should have spared, like if I get the 2 4-7s and the other 2 7-pins, and then the 4-8 that I missed, I can't remember what I did on that one. But if I pick up those, that's 5 spares. That's 50 pins. That gets me to 5-0.
Yeah.
Chaz shot something pretty big the last game to get him up to 515 or something.
I'm assuming urethane the whole time.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We had no other look with anything else. It was just we absolutely had to control the pocket and couldn't even control it with urethane. So Angel ended up bowling for Waspo the whole thing, and that was really short notice for her. Let me see. Team. So 5-0 for Hoff. Timmy shot 480.
Or for what, team event?
Yeah. Just going through. Bruce shot 560. He almost shot 570. That's he had a big game his last game.
Oh yeah. 240.
Yeah, he shot 240 the last game to get him up to 570. Type in Chaz. He actually does go by Chaz.
Chaz.
Yeah, he shot 512. And again, that was more or less just digging. Let me see what Ryan ended up shooting. Yeah, 670. Ryan had a really solid set. I don't think he really threw it that. I think the second game was just a little bit of transition and getting moved into something else.
Boy, where did he struggle doubles? Doubles.
Well, there's a story for doubles.
Okay, I was going to say doubles really screwed him there.
There's a story. Ramsden shot 650. Ramsden had a really good weekend. You see that he had 130 to start team, and then 220, 260, and that's the only game he had under 200. The only game he had under 200 the entire weekend was 130, and he shot 750 his first set at the BJ.
Doesn't he live out there now?
He does, but he hasn't bowled in the last year.
Oh.
He walked in fresh with a brand new ball that he hadn't thrown yet to that first bowler's journal and shot 750.
It's kind of like golf. It sucks you back in real quick. Yeah.
Ram had a really solid weekend. Dallas shot 540 in team, and James, I think, shot a little 620. I really just staying out of trouble for him. 190, 220. We ended up, he shot 680 and I shot 595 in doubles. And so we did get to, we're 433rd for doubles. So we'll get and we'll see what that prize ends up being. So I'll get something out of it.
Yeah, you'll get a little check out of that.
And team, again, I wasn't really that sharp in team. I threw it really well in doubles and singles. I did okay in doubles and singles. I've never seen lanes transition that fast on the right, even on the right side. Like Chaz and I were making adjustments every 3 frames, and I'm like, well, this feels more familiar. It's just ridiculous,
right?
It just I didn't even understand it I don't know. And the same thing happened on the right side on that pair too. It just disappeared instantly.
And you're talking about team, right? Or team event? You said they're hooking just a crap load?
In team, yeah, they hooked a lot, but they didn't change much. I didn't have to. I tried all kinds of things trying to line up, but I never felt like I was forced into moving. When I did finally find something the last game, it ended up just being some missed spares kind of down the stretch, I think, or I would have shot 202 team 220 something the last game. It just kind of fell apart late. But I struck on my very first ball of team, and that did not strike again until the fourth frame of game 3.
Fourth frame of game 3?
I did not strike the rest of game 1. I did not strike once in game 2, and it was 3 frames into game 3 before I finally struck again.
Goodness.
But
I'm sure you were ready to fry.
Yes and no, because I knew it was going to be tough going into it. I didn't think it was going to be that bad. But again, I've got the perfect excuse, kind of. I'm not left-handed. So it's one of those things, if it goes well, I can say, hey, I'm really getting something figured out. If it doesn't go well, it's like, well, I'm not left-handed. So.
I'm not left-handed.
Yeah.
You can't say anything.
Yeah, whatever.
That's a great outlook to have.
Well, and this is the funny thing, Storm, is that we watch Brad Angelo's group, and Brad was on because those guys shot a million on 3 and 4. Josiak and I can't remember he shot 800. Him and Josiak almost they were within 3 pins of doubles. Those guys were straight up like 3, 4, 5 for 3 solid games. Brad made little itty bitty tiny moves that just unless you were paying laser focused attention, you didn't notice. But those guys did not move for 3 solid games. And on our pair, we were moving every 3 frames.
Goodness gracious.
And it was just ridiculous. I left 3 big 4s in a row moving on each shot with a black hammer.
Wow.
And I aced a shot and it hooked, and then I moved and then it hooked, and then I moved again and it hooked. The single set was really fun. I think I shot 515 or 520 or something in singles. The single set was really funny. And it was so funny I couldn't even be mad at it because I made really good shots. Like 85% of my shots I was very, very happy with off my hand, and it just didn't have the look, didn't work out.
Yeah.
Whatever, but I'm really happy with how I threw it. And since we did get the video, and I'm going to do commentary over it, team was awful. That just put that out there. I threw it really well in doubles and singles, and that will hopefully come through the camera. So
yeah, Slapstick. He bowls left-handed because he has a right shoulder injury.
Yeah. I would much rather be right-handed, and I've thought about it before. I've thought about picking and choosing, because my problem is that I can still kind of fake it righty from inside of third arrow.
Mm-hmm.
But if I ever, like the team that for doubles and singles, the shot was right up 5. You just had to walk it in down 5 and you were golden. There's zero way that I would be able to do that.
With bigger stuff or urethane?
Anything on doubles and singles pattern. If you played down 5 and walked it in, whatever you threw, there's a lot of people that did well with urethane. A lot of people, Brad threw a gem.
Yeah.
The whole time. And so, yeah, doubles and singles was fairly scoreable, but it was very pair to pair, because right next to them on 1 and 2, another part of their group, those guys did not have 5 board. It was very inconsistent right up 5. And so they had to move in and kind of play like 8 to 5 or something. And to start off, that was what? Shut the hell up. Hi, Pickles.
He's just sitting there staring at us like, what?
That was very not. They had a. Hi, Pickles. They had a really slow game to start off the first game, and then they gradually picked it up. But their double set was kind of ruined because Brad had a pretty big group, so they had lanes 1 through 6. On 5 and 6, 3 and 4, and 5 and 6. Hi, Buck. Hi. What are you talking? Hi.
What's up, dude?
Hi, buddy.
What's up?
Yeah, if you were left to 5 in double and singles, you were doing it wrong, most likely. I would agree with that. except that I watched those guys next to Brad. Brad's pair up 5, 4, 3, golden, perfect golden. That did not exist on 1 and 2. Did not exist. I think it was Justin Herbert and oh God, who else did they have?
The quarterback?
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who else did they have with them. But those guys had nothing up 5. They had to move in. They had to throw it. They had to give it a baby swing, and it didn't look good and we were one, but Matt Lamarty was there with them because he was part of their group, and he's like, yeah, I mean, those guys aren't doing that because they want to.
Yeah,
they have nothing. They don't have Brad and those guys' look, so they had to play 8-5 and kind of develop it there. And then by game 3, they had something, and then they did pretty well. But it was just 2 pairs right next to each other, and one of them had the shot, and it just didn't change. They just didn't have to move. They didn't have to do anything but make good shot, which, I mean, they just aced shot after shot after shot.
Yeah.
But the plan worked on 3 and 4 for them. The plan did not work on 1 and 2 for those guys. And so, unfortunately, their double set was kind of ruined because they just didn't have the pair. And so it felt very pair-to-pair in there because we were watching, and again, it felt pair-to-pair in the center when we were doing, and what we had in the team practice session was nothing like because Chaz and I actually had a look in the team practice session. We thought, okay, if we have anything remotely similar to this, we're going to be okay. And the topography was awful, and we just didn't. But then doubles and singles, one of the other things that USBC finds a way to screw up something every single year.
Oh, yeah, they do.
So we had some one of Ryan's Jopos got stuck, wouldn't come out of the ball.
Okay.
And so we had to wait a minute. And we were 1 frame behind, and they put the please move faster banner up there, and it stayed up there the entire time, even though we were 1 frame behind like 3 other pairs that were right next to us. We just had to be like 30 seconds behind just constantly. But then in doubles and singles, Bruce and James Hoff were doubles, and they were the odd ones out because they had 4 people on a pair. And so they were the odd ones out, and they were bowling with some people in the standard division, which I don't understand. That's another problem, that you should have regular bowlers bowling with and I know that sometimes the way that squads shake out, you can't exactly have that all the time, but you should have people as close to their peers as possible, or as close there to the division. You shouldn't have like Jesse and Zach and Chino and them went out. They were paired. They were a regular team. Zach has won an eagle, and they were with a classified team as their cross. That team had 4 marks in the first 15 frames. As a team, not a piece. 5 people, 15 frames, they had 4 marks between them.
You're talking about the team bowling with Jesse then?
Yeah.
But I didn't think that would be Jesse's group.
Extra IPA. I think they did okay, but
still, you're going to be with people that don't know how to break the lane down properly, and that would be awful.
Yeah. So why they put an eagle winner with a classified team? And I'm not talking anything about classified teams. It's just I would think that a classified team would want to be with another classified team, and not a bunch of good bowlers that they're going to be worried about, and that might have made them nervous too. You know, if they look up there and say, "Oh my gosh, we're bowling with a guy that's won something here," that's probably going to make them nervous. You know,
everybody's different for sure.
All right, we're moving on to a Torpedo Extra IPA.
That's pretty good too.
POW.
Curious to see how topography looks next year now that we're back in a convention center.
Yeah, that should be a little bit more interesting. Topography was generally sloped a little bit to the left in South Point. And doubles and singles was really difficult there a couple of years ago for the lefties, and the righties had it. I think it was pretty even for team. If I remember, I didn't have any complaints about team. And actually last year in Reno, I think the left side was easier than the right side. But South Point doesn't really it didn't really go that well for any of us last time we were at South Point.
They came out in the past, touched on the topic, said they can't handpick what teams bowl where because they don't want them to make it look like they're showing favorites. You still keep them with people's groups.
Yeah, that is fair.
Yeah.
But people, I mean, that's a fair point. Thanks for adding that. But they should still be grouped within their division, I think.
How will they handle the Bowlers Journal in Baton Rouge? I don't know. Last time we were in Baton Rouge, they bowled it off-site. So...
Yeah, it'll probably, because other places it's been in bowling centers. Because I remember the Bowlers Journal in Syracuse was at and they haven't had the team practice session for that many years. I think that's a fairly new thing. Yeah. It's just been the Bowlers Journal, the 40 frame game, and which 40 frame game's coming back next year.
It is?
Yeah, it took a break for a couple of years.
Well, that was the last place I think they had it was in Baton Rouge. Because we went and bowled the 40 framer there. 40 frame one's a fun one to bowl. What's the other one that they used to have too? There's the Bowlers Journal bowling this month. The BTM used to be.
Yeah.
I want to say the BTM, and I think their last tournament was Baton Rouge. Because I remember that one being off-site. I'm sure the Bowlers Journal will be off-site. Unless they can find a way to curtain out some lanes. But
it'll be in a bowling center somewhere.
Yeah.
But anyway, to go back to the guys that Bruce and James Hoff got paired with to bowl in doubles and singles, it's like, imagine bowling with two Jeremy Nichols at the shootout.
Oh my.
These guys were hammered when they walked in. They continued to just slaughter drinks, walk around all over the place. They were actually yelling and screaming and whooping and hollering and launching balls up in the air and all kinds of stuff. And we're like two pairs over. There were several times that we had to stop because we were on 59 and 60. Those guys were, 57, 58, 55, and 56. They were on 55 and 56. And there were several times they were loud enough that we had to stop and back off and say, what the hell is going on here? And so those guys were slowing down. And so they ended up putting the banners up. And we had the banners the entire time again. The lane monitors were nowhere to be found. So the banners can go up, but they did come down and tell us, like, well, okay, well, we need you guys to pick up a little bit. We want to get the next squad started on time. It's like, but you guys won't come down here and see why we're not keeping up here?
Did you say something to him?
Bruce and James Hoff actually went back and talked to the tournament director after the squad.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, we paid $250 to come out for the entry fee, and then it's grand in travel expenses.
Yep.
3-4 days off. Even if you fly out and fly back, it's 3-4 days off of work and whatever else. And we fly out just to bowl with a couple of idiots and then have nobody anywhere in the area. James Hoff actually went up to the control desk after like the second or third game, and he's like, we've got this stupid banner up here. These guys are hooting and hollering and doing whatever else. Where are you guys at? What are we doing here? And all they did was take the banner off the screen. They didn't actually come down and talk to anybody. They didn't come check anything, but they did come down later. They could come down later and say, well, we need you guys to speed it up a little bit. And then they disappeared, never saw them again. The lane monitors are also supposed to be down there to turn you to the next game.
Yeah.
There were several times we had to do it ourselves because we were just standing around for like 5 minutes wondering, it's like, okay, so that's what we got slow a couple times. We got slow. Partially because of that, because we're waiting around looking for lane monitors, and it's like, well, they're supposed to take us to the next game and whatever else. And we're just standing here waiting, and then we got these idiots hooping and hollering over here, and then the situation in the squad room is always stupid. It's very, very congested, and they get mad when you leave bowling balls in the aisle, but there's not enough room to actually stick them with your chairs and whatever else, try to thread them in or stick them under the chairs or whatever else. And then they have that stupid walkout ceremony.
I hate that.
I can't even imagine being like, it's hard enough by the time you get all your stuff from the rooms or even from the lockers. You get everything into the squad room, you wheel everything in there, you got to pick everything up and put it out, and then you're sweating your ass off, and then you have to walk the entire freaking length, depending on where you're at. You got to walk across all the approaches and whatever else. I can't imagine being 60 or 70 and having to do that. I would just, it's like, I don't even give a shit at this point. I'm taking 2 bowling balls because that's all I'm capable of taking out there because of this nonsense. They don't let you take carts in the squad room. They don't let you check anything in unless you're in full tournament dress. They give people shit about walking in there with a hat on, and I'm like, I'm sorry, if I'm bowling one of the other events and I'm already sweaty and whatever else, why can't I just run in, check my balls in, leave them where I'm supposed to leave, then go get cleaned up, come back down here and ready to bowl? You want me to take everything back up because you can't come in the squad room without tournament dress. Which is silly considering that's kind of a hidden area anyways. Yeah. So who really gives a shit? Yeah, why can't I check my stuff in? I don't understand why you can't just check your stuff in an hour and a half before the squad in shorts or wearing a hat. The hat is the thing that really gets me because they yelled at somebody that was in there and how you can't have that. It's not tournament dress. You can't have that in here. I'm not bowling. It's like, I'm not bowling in it. Why can't I just, we're an hour and a half away from bowling. Why? I'm just checking stuff in. Like, why do we care about that? But too drunk, you care about that making people wear slacks. One time a year I have to wear slacks, which is stupid. You're wearing pretty I stopped doing that actually in this latest round of videos. I can put all the New Brunswick stuff. Start putting videos up tomorrow, and I stopped wearing slacks. So we're just not wearing. Nationals is the only place I'm going to wear slacks again. They let you bowl in jeans though, but yeah, they let you bowl in jeans, which is actually worse than slacks because slacks you can get in some golf stuff. And they're nice golf slacks, and they're slim and thin. They're about as good as you can be, but the problem is apparently it's okay to get hammered and hoop and holler and launch balls 30 feet down the lane and scream and yell and carry on and slow things down, but as long as you're doing it in slacks, that's okay. I still don't understand a lot of the rules the PBA or the USBC has. Even like, I'm going to use Aaron McCarthy as an example. They want them in slacks or like skirts, but why is Aaron McCarthy always allowed to wear shorts? She wears golf shorts. Yeah. They allow her to wear it in PBA. The PBA slacks only. Make it make sense. Yeah. I don't know. She 100% wears golf shorts. I would say that would be acceptable. You have, as long as they're nice shorts. I think that nice shorts would be better than jeans sometimes because guys are like, well, I can wear whatever kind of jeans as long as I have a collared shirt on or whatever. And some of the jeans were in rough condition, pretty rough shape. Yeah, I'd rather see golf shorts, like nice golf shorts over jeans. Yeah. But to me, I just think jeans look tacky if you're going to wear a polo with it anyways. And then depending on who you get, some people like Chaz has gotten some, he's like, well, let's see if my grips make it through nationals this year. It just depends on who you get. And, James had to shave the grips down. He does his grips, James is anal. He does everything the same. And they checked his balls. He has vacuum grips, and they made him shave down the grips on one ball, even though all of them are the same. One of them they decided was just a little bit too much. So I don't know. They don't understand that they're vacuums? They do, but the grips are not allowed to stick, whether they're vacuum, whether whatever else. They're not allowed to stick up over the surface of the ball too much, and they do give you a little bit of leeway. Because that's going to really affect performance. Yeah. Uh-huh. And they shouldn't be rolling over that anyway. And I guess you could be a full roller, I guess. All right, what do we got here? Okay, not too far behind. The drunks must be friends with Chad. That's pretty good. Yeah, the hat rule is stupid. The PGA allows hats. Some people should wear hats. I'll allow this guy right here. Because we would, I need a shave, but this is a reason why I wear a hat. I mean, I do not like to wear a hat when I bowl, though. But yeah, people like Brandon Carlson, you can't even recognize him. You don't even know who he is without a hat on. And sleeves. And I just don't. Yeah. I just don't. I don't know. They spend so much time on all this little dumb ticky-tack stuff and just let such big stuff slide. And this year there was a whole lot more issues with the 10-pin rule and getting people into the proper divisions. They didn't really seem to care much about that. There's just so many things that they just half-ass, and they're focusing on all the wrong things. Now, generally, it wasn't that bad of a thing, but it continues to be more and more annoying because the same things happen over and over again. They don't resolve certain things, and every single year there's some nonsense that it's like, okay, we can't wear a hat in a squad room, but we can let this happen. Like, I don't understand. What are we even doing here?
I just don't understand the squad room rule where, like I said, that's a private area. Like, it's not like everybody, the spectators, can see it back there.
Yeah.
It's a private area. Why the hell can't I wear a hat before I go out here to bowl?
And I think part of the
I can see it why when you're not bowling. I can understand that. I can understand that. But when you're in a private area waiting on your squad to start, you haven't even walked out to your pair yet. What does it matter?
Yeah.
I should be able to even change clothes in the squad room. It should just be like a paddock.
Yeah. And I think part of the thing is that they want you to come into the squad room in tournament dress so that they don't have to, so that you're not walking out and then all of a sudden somebody's wearing shorts in there. It's like, oh shit, what do we do about it now?
Well, you say something to them when they get out there. You just tell them, changing or you're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have this much time to do it.
Yeah.
Really simple.
I just think that they don't want to deal with people. But at the same time, if I don't know, Reno pissed me off so much last year.
I'm done with Reno.
I am not going back to Reno. So we've already got a family trip that we're going to do in 2026.
Really?
So yeah, we're skipping Reno, and I'm not even. We'll see how Baton Rouge goes. But if they don't change things, and everything keeps being again like it's just so stupid to go out there. And again, Brad's teams practice 4 months. Coordinate team practices, and they intend to go out there and mow them down. And if those guys can barely average 210 in team, there's just no point. Like, why? Yeah. That's ridiculous. I mean, if it's harder than what the pros bowl on at the Masters of the U.S. Open, like it's the Open Championships for a bunch of league bowlers.
That's exactly what it is. The 2028 stop in South Carolina would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
probably
want to go to. Probably want to go to that just because it's different. I do like going to Vegas. South Point's always a lot of fun. It was really hot this time, but we in South Point the whole time, and there's several places there that we like to eat. I always enjoy going to South Point and staying in South Point, and so just going to Vegas in general.
The hot dogs are good.
Yeah.
Those are good hot dogs. Not gonna lie.
They are good hot dogs.
No, I'm excited for that, but it sucks though. Is right after 2028 in South Carolina, we go right back to the same old Reno, Vegas bullshit.
Yeah, because they don't. It's getting a convention center anywhere to give up. Now there's an influx of a lot of people. It's a big boost for the local economy.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, you're asking a convention center to give up 4 or 5 months out of the year because it takes them 2 or 3 weeks to set the stuff up and then tear it down again. And the tournament lasts for 4 months. Mm-hmm. And so I just don't think that there's many convention centers out there that want to give up their entire venue for half the year.
I read something about like Baton Rouge that projected to make at least $70 million in revenue for the city next year.
Mm-hmm.
For that.
Yeah, I believe it.
That's why I don't understand why they don't bounce things around. I get it with the renting of the convention centers because it's been a long time since we bowled an actual convention center. I want to say it was Syracuse or Baton Rouge, one of the two.
Well, and the problem is that USBC also asks for a bunch of stuff. I mean, they act like they're the frickin' NFL walking in there making demands on stuff. Like, I don't think that they want to go someone's like, okay, you're going to comp us rent, you're going to get us this, you're going to whatever else, and you're going to provide us all these things because we're going to bring all this revenue to your economy. It's like, well, the convention center is like, well, that doesn't really help us out. I don't want to comp you everything for 6 solid months. That's not going to help us.
What the nice part about like Baton Rouge though is next door to the convention center, I think they actually have an arena. There's an actual arena, so whatever concerts or anything, they can still do them in there. I don't know what kind of conventions they hold in that time of year, but it is Baton Rouge, so it's warmer down there. But
a few concerts. No, Matt Mace is in here. A few concerts makes a lot less time. Exactly. Yep.
But it will be fun to bowl back in that kind of environment.
Yeah, it'll be nice to go somewhere different. Baton Rouge will be fun, and then
Asian food, baby.
Yeah, Greenville will be a lot of fun. So probably go to those at least. But Reno's definitely getting skipped, and I just don't know. It's fun to take the trip, but if you're going to just bowl like shit every time because you're bowling on conditions that even pros are struggling on, it's kind of like, well, there's just no point to this.
It gets frustrating. I can understand that.
And I mean, I would rather hit up stuff like, again, Tulsa and Springfield, and just do the regular Southwest, just do the regular stuff around here, and not take a week off of work and spend $1,000 and whatever else. It's just,
I think we're doing we're gonna bowl. We're bowling the weekend before or the week before Easter, and we're gonna bowl Thursday, Friday. We're gonna leave Wednesday, get down there Wednesday, come back Sunday.
mm-hmm.
So at least we're sandwiched a couple weekend days in there.
Yeah,
that we don't have to take a few days off work. Now I don't know if we're gonna planning on driving, but if flight prices land in a good spot in our lap, then we kind of got to think about taking it. So.
Yeah, that's one of those. Baton Rouge is like 12 hours.
12 hours, right on the nose
or something.
Yep.
So yeah, it's one of those things that's right at that perfect distance where you can make it in a day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long day, but you can drive it. But if you don't have to, you really don't want to.
Yep. We made that trip from Galveston in February, 12-hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
We made it all in one day on the way home after getting off the boat. That was terrible. That was a long day.
Yeah.
You get tired of the car. When you get out of the car, you just look at it and go, yeah, I don't want to touch that thing for a while. But it's going to be fun, though. I'm looking forward to changing it up and going there. Vegas has been, I think we Vegased out for a little bit. I know a lot of people actually like going to Vegas every year.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Tobias in here said something about he'd be happy with Vegas every year, and the convenience is good.
I would be okay with it because I really do like South Point that much that I could probably just go there every year because we have a routine, and the places that we stop on the way to Vegas are awesome. There's this breakfast place that we get on the second day that's awesome. There's a brewery just west of Denver that we really like stopping at. And
which one is it?
Dylan Dam Brewery.
Have you been to Breckenridge yet?
Have not been there.
Breckenridge is awesome. They also do whiskey. So Breckenridge does the beer. They do beer, but they also Mr. Bill brought me that Broncos whiskey that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do both. It's amazing.
Oh God, we stopped in somewhere in Hayes.
Yeah.
It was we didn't go to Gella's this time because they were closed for remodeling.
Mm-hmm.
We went to it was like Thirsty's or something like that.
In Hayes?
Yeah.
The brewery?
Yeah, Thirsty's Brew Pub and Grill in Hayes. This thing was outrageously good.
Huh.
So hopefully I'm going to pay attention this year and can get in that doubles tournament.
I can get you in. You can bowl.
Thirsty's Brew Pub and Grill. It used to be like a grocery store or something. And so you go in there and it's kind of looks like a movie. It's kind of weird going in, but then you get in there and it's just freaking huge and they got all kinds of stuff. The food was ridiculous and
yeah, you got to bowl this year because that is a fun tournament to bowl.
Yeah, it just always sneaks.
It's a long day,
but always sneaks up on me.
I'd like to go down there and stay the night before.
Yeah, would definitely do that.
It's a long day. Johnny and I stayed in Salina last year, and that helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But Johnny got sick that night in the hotel, and I ended up being sicker than shit for the next week and a half after that. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. And I'm pretty damn sure it was COVID. But who's counting?
Yeah, I would definitely go down there on a Saturday and hit Thirsty's up and hang out and whatever.
I thought of you last Friday, by the way.
Yeah.
Last Friday we went to the casino for crab legs at Prairie Bend.
Uh-huh.
Because on Friday nights at the buffet they do crab legs.
Yeah.
They have frog legs. And every time I see them, I'm like, oh, nope, can't do
They're
it.
so good.
Can't do it. Are they always fried like that, or do they do grilled too?
No, they just fry them up.
Yeah, okay, that's what I figured.
It's fish chicken.
Ugh.
Fish chicken.
I'm gonna eat some Cajun gator down there though in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
They have killer food down there. Also, get a chance to go see the LSU's football stadium. It is really cool to go see their football stadium. It is just absolutely monstrous. It's like I think they seat like 104,000, something like that. That's a lot of people.
We're gonna try to get down for an Alabama game because Jess Nicholas.
Yeah, he said something to me.
Yeah, he's ran a website for him for 20 years.
Yeah, he's in the media.
Yeah, he's in the media, and
They played Missouri this year.
Yeah, and so he's like, it's just the craziest thing that you'll ever be involved with.
I think they played Missouri in Columbia, though. Now I'm curious.
Bama,
Yep.
cold and cryo.
Let's see, Hall. Yeah, that'd be fun. Go down to Bama. Looks like we played Bama in. It's coming up. It's a weird year that no, maybe not. We got Auburn. I swore we played Alabama. Oh, we do. We played October 26th in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought we were down there in Rolled Tide country. 8 hours for me. Yeah, see, I drive that all day. 8 hours to
IPA.
We had discussed going to Springfield and then driving from Springfield straight from there.
Yeah.
And just making it there because you're 4 hours into the drive.
Yeah.
And just making it there, already be there a week, bowl some bowlers journals, whatever. But man, that'd be a long couple weeks.
Yeah, last time we went to Baton Rouge, we actually had a mini vacation in Branson on the way back. We just kind of went down there and bowled, but then made our vacation Branson instead of.
You made it on the way back, didn't you?
Uh-huh.
Which I'll be there in 2 weeks, by the way. We're going to Branson for 4 days.
Oh, sweet.
Amanda and I are.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Just me, Amanda, and Ray.
Cool.
Just a little last hurrah before she goes. We're going to go Silver Dollar City and all that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you were telling me about that. So.
Go to Stampede. I've actually never been to Stampede.
Stampede's a great time.
Oh, Raylan's excited.
Yeah.
Which stand do you prefer, the north or south?
See, the really funny thing is that I've been to it probably 15 times, and this last time we went was the first time I'd ever been on the south.
And you liked it?
It was, yeah, it was fine. Any spot it's kind of like a horseshoe stadium.
Yeah.
Any seat in the house is good, actually.
Okay.
So it's great.
I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be a lot of fun. We're just Silver Dollar City. She's going to have a blast. And
yeah.
Amanda and Ray have never been to Silver Dollar City, and I told Amanda that all the crafts and stuff that they do and all the old time stuff, it's just perfect.
Yeah.
The best smelling park in the world.
Yeah.
All the skillet meals.
Yeah, and they get awards and stuff. It's one of the cleanest parks in the world too.
Yes, it is very clean. It is very clean. Sierra Nevada Brewery is 1 hour from Reno.
Sweet.
That's close. The problem is I don't know if I'm going to go to Reno, and I've already said I'm back and I'm going to continue bowling Reno or Nationals going forward. But God, Reno was just awful.
Yeah, it was. And that's the sad thing is that they kind of renovated it and whatever else, and that just the renovations made it worse.
Really?
Yeah, especially in the row or the casinos, the Silver Legacy, Circus, and whatever else. Those are awful. And so next, if I ever get talked into going to Reno again, I'm definitely not staying there. We used to just stay at Silver Legacy every year. We stayed at Harrah's. When it was,
that's where I was staying.
We stayed it there until it kind of changed, and we started staying at Silver Legacy. And it's like, okay, well, this is great, but then I mean, you can't even get breakfast for anything under $20 out there. And then they did clean up walking from Silver Legacy to the casino. They took out a strip of shops or whatever, and so it is a little bit cleaner. But there's still just homeless row walking over there.
Yeah, no, I was telling somebody that the other day, and they're like, "No, really, it's that bad?" I'm like, "No, it's bad."
Yeah, it's bad.
We got lucky with Harrah's though, because Amanda's grandpa, we got free rooms, so we always took advantage of free rooms. Have you ever stayed at Circus?
No, haven't stayed at Circus, but we figured it was kind of the El Dorado, Silver Legacy, Circus. It's all kind of the same.
It's all going to be a whole
kind of the same deal. And they do have a food court in Circus that has like a sub shop and a burger place and a little pizza place and a Panda Express and whatever else. But everything else is so expensive that the food court is packed 24/7. And so you're either going to pay $30 to eat something, or you're going to wait in line for an hour to get anything in the food court.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been to Reno, but I'm telling you, it was bad then. And I know it's.
And that's the weird thing is I liked Reno because the bowling stadium's amazing. Harrah's was great staying there, and we stayed at Silver Legacy a couple times. And I'm like, I'm just there for the bowling, and so being able to hang out there. Silver Legacy was nice, and just being able to walk across the street. The bowling stadium's awesome. I liked Reno, and I always defended it to people. This last time we were there was wretched, and I just don't want to go back.
No, I don't blame you. I get it.
I think because I'm not too far away from. Well, let me see. 18, 19, 21, 20. Okay, so I don't have a whole lot. I was thinking about getting a consecutive years thing because they give out plaques for both years and consecutive years.
When do you have to have it? Like when is your next little window for that?
The consecutive years isn't really that long because I didn't go in 27. I couldn't make it work in 2017, so I didn't go to that one. Have gone every year since 2018, and this was my 15th year at Nationals. And so I think once you get to 20 years, they start handing out plaques. But I mean, I don't want to. It's like, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to get a plaque, and it's going to sit and collect dust somewhere. So it's really not that important.
No, I get it.
Rodney Burr got a plaque this year for 20 or 25 consecutive years.
So that's impressive, though.
So, I mean, and that is kind of, once you get to that kind of thing, that's just,
you got to go.
One of those longevity things is actually pretty cool. It's a little different. So yeah, it'll be nice to get a 20 or a 25 year plaque or something else. And there was some other guy that got like a 40 or 45 year plaque while we were there, and just thinking about the amount of time and the whatever else that's just it is pretty cool.
And honestly. Money, time and money. That's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot because a lot of those guys don't hardly ever make any money back when they go. So
yeah, Eric. I ate at the burger place every day at Circus. Circus last year was the cheapest place to eat. Prices were ridiculous. The buffet is closed now too, and they have a breakfast place in Circus, but you can't even get toast, a couple eggs, and a couple strips of bacon was $18.95.
Holy smokes!
And yeah, and that's the best place to eat there was the Brew Brothers, whatever, in Silver Legacy. And it was still expensive, but it was that right place where it's like, okay, it's not that much more expensive than what we have here in town. Like, it's about the same price as going to Iron Rail or Norseman or something.
For like brunch or something?
Now, yeah. And so it was like, okay, I can go in there and get a burger and fries, a good brewery burger and fries for $20. I'm okay with that. But any of the rest of this crap, a 20-ounce Coors Light was $15 in the stadium.
Who drinks Coors Light anyway? But good God!
But it was just insane.
They ended up fixing those prices, didn't they?
They did, because people complained so much in the first month that they were there that after we actually went very early last year, and the week after we went the first week of April, and after that they actually USBC talked to the bowling stadium and they actually lowered the prices. They didn't lower them a whole lot, but it was so bad, so egregious. I mean, it was more than going to a football game.
Why the heck would they even need them to be that expensive?
I could have gone, I don't know, but I could have gone to a Chiefs game and got cheaper stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's just insane.
I'd gladly have a beer while I bowl Nationals, but I'm not going to spend $15 on a beer. I can tell you that right now.
I think you're going to, now, Nationals has had kind of a resurgence in, there for a little, they got down to like 7,000 teams there a couple years, but it has gotten a little bit more popular here recently. I think the next Reno year is going to be a big drop off. I think
nobody wants to go back.
An awful lot of people off.
I'm curious to see what it is. Blair near me was charging $9 a Budweiser bottle. $9 a bottle?
Yeah. This is the other thing. Like, you go to South Point, the prices were completely reasonable. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of
New York strip and steak and egg salad for $6.95.
Mm-hmm.
I'd do that in a heartbeat. That sounds like a good breakfast.
Yeah, everything at South Point was fine.
Yum.
Just normal prices. You know, $5 for a bottle of Budweiser, which is a little bit more than you'd expect, but it's not.
That's probably Vegas price though.
Yeah. Which you expect things to be a little bit more expensive, but $5 for a bottle of Budweiser is
honestly,
really not that bad.
That's not that much worse than here.
It's not like $10 that it was in Reno or something.
Baton Rouge, when we were last there, alcohol wasn't that But I don't think at that time we could drink it while we bowled.
Yeah.
We had to drink it off they sold it in like the little cafe, little snacking areas, but you could only drink it in those areas. You couldn't drink it while you're bowling, if I remember right.
Yeah. Space Dust, the Elysian Space Dust was $5 in Vegas.
Really?
Yeah. It was great. I got some pretty good whiskey a couple times for like, they had a new one in there. It was called Stone Street. And that was like $6 for it's like, okay, that's just not that bad
No, that's not bad at all.
for for sipping a shot for a little while.
Yeah. Did you or does anybody in the chat or later watch this? Anybody in Vegas done the rising bar? Have you seen that where your feet hang? You're literally free sitting in a seat, and you just kind of go up. And I don't know how long it sits up there, but you got a little cup holder and everything in front of you, and it's just a bar. Drew Knutson did it. I know he did it, but I can't remember how far up in the air it goes. But I wouldn't be able to drink my drink. I'd probably pee my pants. I'm terrified of heights, man. I'm telling you, I don't do the heights thing. And I was seeing that, and I'm like, there's no way. Like, but knowing I'm sitting here at a bar and I'm gonna strap in like harness and everything, I couldn't do it. I have to see if I can find the picture of it that Drew posted. That's just insane. I would not be able to do that. Like, how could you be a bartender and just sit there and ride that up all the time? That would drive me nuts.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we rambled about Open Championship for a while.
Yeah.
Want to get into the PBA, PBA 50, and PWBA item. You've got a little more insight on it than I have. Obviously, all I saw was I saw what Jason Couch posted, and apparently you said there's been some responses to that, like Liz Colkin said something.
Yeah, he sparked a fairly heated discussion about that. Oh, the buddies. Oh, my gosh, the buddies. Oh, yes, the ears. You got the ears. What's Mama getting into, Buck?
Nothing you can have.
Nothing you can have.
Say hi? I know.
I already learned outside.
Camera's right here. Say hi.
You go, buddy. Storm Dog, look over there. Storm, hey.
Don't come up here, though.
You don't have cheese. He doesn't want you.
Bye.
And I'm out.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Now I can turn this way.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, Nico, he's completely wrong. Yeah, Jason Couch's post was wild.
Are you going to pull that up?
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. Okay, if my mouse would stop.
Luke will save you from searching. He's going to pull it up for us, and we can kind of go into that. I know we'll talk about it while he's looking that up. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but congratulations to Anthony Simonson and Daniel McEwen on winning the Luci back-to-back years.
Mm-hmm.
That is a pretty damn good team, if you ask me. There's a couple really good ones in that group, or in that Luci doubles.
No, it's the COC. Okay, wrong one. PB, yeah, there's 7 million channels in Discord.
That's a lot. There it is, right there.
Yep. So they just had the Luci, which is a must hit for a lot of people. Brad Martin shot 300.
Yep.
He bowled with Carly Kenny.
Yep. Brad throws a really good too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he throws it good. So yeah, if you look on the PBA website, Brad Martin shot 300. He's a local guy here, and he throws it. He throws it great. So
he's always doing a great.
Yep, good deal for him. And that's just one of those tournaments that Zach Wilkins went down there and bowled it. And he's like, yeah, you just have to. It's one of those tournaments like Swiss Trios every year. It's just one of those tournaments that no matter how you do or how you expect to do, you can expect to go down there and finish last every year. You're putting Swiss Trios is on your calendar.
Yeah, you're bowling.
You're just going and bowling. It doesn't matter how bad you do because it's just such a well-run, great tournament.
And it's fun.
And everybody says that about the Luci too. It's like everybody's so great. It's for a good cause. It's run so well. That's just a must on people's calendars.
Good formats will do that as well.
Yeah, every single year. But they had something that was very intriguing this year, and it starts this weekend, or starts Wednesday, Thursday, something like that.
I think practice starts Wednesday.
And it's a PBA, PBA 50, and PWBA Trios tournament. So they have individual qualifying, and then I don't know how they put the trios together because it's individual qualifying.
Yeah, so they it's off of seeds.
Okay.
They're doing it off of seeds, and then they're seeding it that way.
Okay. So they put the teams together that way, but then it's a trios thing, and Swiss trios is amazing. It's not quite the same thing, but just because in the PBA 50 you still got most of the legends of the game.
Mm-hmm.
The kids tour.
Yep.
Got a lot of great bowlers there. The PWBA, a lot of great bowlers there too. And putting them all together, I think this is the first time that's all three of them together have ever happened, because the Luci is basically PBA, PWBA.
Yeah. Is
what it ends up being. It does count for a title, but you don't have to be a top 50 points professional or whatever.
No, you can bowl
or something.
No, yeah. There's no BTQ.
Yeah, if you sign up and you get a spot, you get to bowl.
Yeah.
So, but there's been kind of a problem here that there's only 26 PWBA bowlers as of earlier today signed up to bowl the tournament. The prize fund is based on 50 per 150
total,
or 50 total teams, or 50 total trios, but 50 PBA, 50 PBA 50, and then 50 PWBA. Well, there's only 26 PWBA bowlers signed up for the event. Jason Couch got on Facebook and said, "I have to say I'm very disappointed in the PWBA bowlers and the amount of entries at the Jonesboro event. Bowling proprietors give up their center and allow us a chance to compete. Next time you complain there's nothing to bowl, remember you did not sign up to bowl here. A chance to bowl with legends of the game and all three pro tours together. Sign me up."
I can see his point too, but at the same time, he's wrong.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and I don't think, in his defense, I don't think that it came across the way that he wanted to come across.
I would agree.
I think that he just thought in general, it's like, this is really cool. This is something I want to sign up for. This is something I want to show up for. This is rare. This is unique, whatever else. But the Luci just happened. The PWBA season is in the summer. A lot of these women work regular jobs, not in the bowling industry.
Correct.
A good handful of them have kids.
Yep.
And so when you're picking and choosing, okay, what can I show up to? What am I going to pay for? What do I even have the vacation time for? Because they only have 8 tournaments this year.
Yeah, and they're almost done.
Yeah.
They think they have that little World Series type swing where they have the 3 tournaments or 2 tournaments in one. That's it.
Yeah.
For a championship or whatever.
They have 8 tournaments this year in the middle of summer. They already have to get off time for the ones of those that they want to bowl and whatever else. I don't think that this is a lack of wanting to bowl. I think it was just one of those things. He's just thinking out of, he's got a day job too. He works for Bowlers Mart, but at the same time, if you work in the bowling industry and, you're Jason Couch, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, if an event, you work here, but you bowl. That's just the thing. Aaron McCarthy can't exactly tell the hospital, oh yeah, I got another bowling tournament, and so I'm just going to take, Wednesday through Monday. I'm going to take most of the week off for 10 weeks out of the year. That doesn't exactly work. So you have to pick and choose. And the entry fee for this is $500 a person. And then even if you're rooming with somebody and scrimping and saving and whatever else, you're going to spend $1,000 to attend this tournament.
Oh, yeah.
10th place is $1,400 for your share of and this is the other thing, is people are looking at the prize fund. It's like, well, the prize fund looks great. And it's like, well, yeah, it doesn't.
Split 3 ways.
Yeah, until you realize it's split 3 ways.
Mm-hmm.
And so, sure, 10th place is $4,200. You're splitting that between 3 bowlers.
Yep.
10th place, that's not that far down on the list.
No.
And so unless you're Danielle McEwen or you're Verity or you're Diana or you're Shannon Pluhowski or you're Jordan Richard or somebody like that, you're looking at this going, okay, it's the week after the Luci. I'm definitely hitting the Luci. I'm hitting a couple of the PWBA tournaments, a couple of the Women's U.S. Open, the Players Championship, whatever else. You're hitting some of the big stuff, and then just regular stuff throughout the year. This one may not make the list for a lot of them. And if you're thinking, I've got to finish in the top 10 to break even? Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why do you even? It's one of those things where it's like, this sounds like a really cool idea, but why?
And I'm looking at their schedule, the women's. It does include this tournament. Is included on their schedule as one of their tournaments.
Yes, but it does not count for any points.
Does not, but
Is
there is
the
a
thing.
title awarded.
Yeah, there is a title awarded.
And then
First place is $30,000. So if you win, but I've never been a person to look at the, and of course people will say, well, yeah, losers never look at first place. But it's like, realistically speaking, if you look at, I can win $10,000. It's like, sure you can.
Yeah, you can.
But the people that keep doing that, you're going to bankrupt yourself if you don't have some reality start to set in here at a certain point.
Yep. And next week, literally next week, is the end of the women's tour.
Yeah. So this is what happens. If I'm
That's sad.
if I'm semi into bowling professionally as a female, I definitely want to hit the Queens.
Mhm.
I want to hit the Women's U.S. Open. I want to hit the Luci.
Yep.
And then the Tour Championship week is basically the women's version of
Their World
the
Series.
World Series of Bowling.
Which is basically they bowl like one tournament a day, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's only August 6th through the 13th, so they've got to move fast. I think they bowl 3 tournaments that week.
Yeah. So if I'm thinking professionally as a woman, I'm missing trios.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not. Trios is the one that I'm not showing up to. Sounds like a great idea. Sounds like a bunch of fun.
Well, they're not even close either. So
Yeah.
it's in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and then it's at Thunder Bowl in Allen Park, Michigan. So
Yeah.
that's a hike.
And even if you skip the Luci and the trios, everything else is Minnesota, Illinois, Wisconsin, Tennessee is the odd random one.
Yeah.
Indiana,
Texas.
Michigan.
Or Texas.
Well, Texas is the Luci.
That's all pretty jumped together geographically. That's not bad.
If you skip the Luci and the trios, which is in Texas and Arkansas,
Yep.
Minnesota, Illinois, Wisconsin, Tennessee is the one random one, Indiana, Michigan. Very, very closely
It
located.
just sucks how they scheduled this because the PBA 50 PWBA event, the trios would have been a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still going to be fun to watch. Don't get me wrong, but if they don't only have 25 teams, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And then next year's schedule, they have 1, 2, 3. Well, they're doing a series, so the 27th through the 2nd. So how many tournaments are in there? So I mean, they go from May to August, and there's a break in there.
There's 8 on there, and the Lucy's in there. The trios is not in there.
Yeah,
but they'll have a couple tournaments in Cleveland. And they'll have a couple tournaments in championship week. So there's 8 stops, but there's probably 10 or 11 tournaments.
Shoot, they could find a way to put the tournament in June.
Yeah, later in June.
They could do it in June because they don't bowl again until July 9th through the 13th. I'm telling you, I think that trios would be it could be a hit if it's carried at the right time.
Yeah, the trios would be great if they just didn't have it so close to everything else.
Yep.
That's the problem, is for the women that have a regular day job in a regular industry, and this is part USBC's fault, because if they had more tournaments for the women to bowl, more of them could afford to bowl professionally for a living. If you only have a handful of tournaments from May to August, you have to have a regular job.
I'm wondering if they thought when they scheduled, like, oh, okay, it's right after the Lucy. A lot of the guys and girls will go straight to here. The bowl's another tour week, and
that's probably what they thought, but they just don't
understand.
There was just and so again, I can with Jason, I can say I am disappointed that the turnout's not going to be bigger. However, when you're and I've put stuff on Facebook before that ends up blowing up, and I just argue with people, and it just ends up being a freaking mess. And so most of the time it's like, well, I didn't intend for it to be taken that way.
Yeah.
And so I think that he put something on there, and he was just thinking, it's like
taken out of context. I understand.
He's thinking, why is there no interest in this tournament? He's just thinking at like an interest level. He's not thinking, I don't think he's thinking logistics and details and all this other stuff. I think he's just thinking it's like, okay, well, you guys can bowl the Lucy. The women can bowl with the kids, but if we add the seniors in there. So I think he might have been a little offended.
Yeah.
Possibly by that thing. Okay, we can sign up for the Lucy and bowl with the kids, but you don't want to bowl with the old guys.
Well, that's silly because a lot of those old guys can still
Yeah.
put up numbers.
Well, and that's also what I think is the Luci's also a completely different thing.
That's-
I mean, it's a
fundraiser, but there's titles awarded, but they still have a lot of fun.
yeah,
It's a lot of fun.
but it's also a very it's the mixed doubles for breast cancer
Yep.
awareness
Yep.
money raising. So it's a very woman centric, woman forward. You know, that's going to be the one. If they're going to bowl something, the Luci is going to be what they're going to show up for because it's carries a higher significance for the women to begin with.
It almost surprises me because how small their schedule is that the women on the PWBA side, they don't make that a points tournament because it is sandwiched in there between the Tour Championship week. So why not make it a points tournament? PBA, I can understand it because they've already done their playoffs and finals and everything like that.
Yeah.
They just award a title. But outside of that, why not make it a points tournament? You know?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, if you look at the start of their schedule, talk about logistic nightmare. They start in Topeka,
Yeah.
and then they go to Vegas.
Yeah.
But I do see that they're bowling the Women's Open next year at Sun Valley, and that's one of the coolest bowling centers ever. Sun Valley is really nice.
Yeah. I mean, this is one of those things they should be grateful because there could be no women's tour. Yes. But it's one of the, it's in a spot right now where it's like, there might as well not be one. It's one of those things where like if you go somewhere and you just tip a couple bucks on a $40 tab, it's more insulting than just not. It's like, okay, well, just don't give me anything then. I don't even want to pick $2 up off the table.
This is
But yeah, the Wriggle showed this, and I put a post on there, and I said, basically, if they can just thinking about this, if they can stay home and work their day job for those several days, I think in 5 days, Aaron McCarthy could definitely make more than I would hope that Aaron McCarthy would make $1,000, $1,500 working for 5 days at a hospital. I would hope so. $1,000 anyway, you know, 25, 30, 35 bucks an hour or whatever.
Yep.
I said, if they can just work at their day job and make the same amount of money or more than they'd probably make at the tournament for a fraction of the cost, because if you're home working your day job, you're not traveling expenses, you're not lodging expenses, you're not tournament expenses. And so you're saving you're working your regular day job and saving $1,000 on entry fees and whatever else at the same time. If you can just stay home and work your day job, and that's more lucrative than it's probably going to be if you go to the tournament, that's a problem. So the Luci also just finished. They might not have been able to swing both, either financially or with getting time off from their jobs. And one of my points is bowling also needs to give people reasons to show up, not force them to constantly make sacrifices and endure hardships to support it.
Yeah,
and that's constantly what bowling does. It just, well, you know, we're having a tournament, we're offering this. If you don't show up, then you're just not supporting bowling. It's like, well, how much has to come out of my ass to support somebody running tournaments or somebody doing this or somebody doing that? It's like how much do I just have to, you know, how much do I have to sacrifice myself to make something work for somebody else?
Yeah, I agree. I've got the women's top 8 and money list here. So this is through the Women's Open. Lee Jane Sin is up. She obviously, I think she won the U.S. Open, didn't she?
She's won everything.
She's
won everything.
She's made $103,000 this year, so she's making she's had a good season. Shannon Blahowski was next at $52,000 a year, or $52,000. Diana Z is at $41,000. Kelly Kulik's at $40,000. Verity's at $39,000. Cherie Tan $39,000. Hope Gramley $38,000, which she hasn't quietly made a little $38,000.
Yeah, she quietly made $40,000.
Yeah, and then Dasha, which is also another one's kind of quietly made $35,000.
Yeah.
So that's all they're going to show you is the top 8. I don't want to go any past that because I'm sure it'll be pretty bad.
Yeah. For the 10 tournaments they have in the year,
that's not terrible.
That's pretty okay for the 10 tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
But how many of those, like Lee Jane Sin, I'm pretty sure bowls for a living, because
I would hope so.
She bowls overseas and they take a whole lot better care of their athletes in Korea, Japan.
Don't they have a women's tour type thing out there?
Yeah. They have the JPBA in Japan.
They have a JWBP or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what they do as far as Korea goes, but I know that they put a blurb on there about.
She's Korean, right?
I'm pretty sure Lee Jane's Singapore.
Singapore, yeah.
I think
that's
Lee
right.
Jane sent us Singapore. But they also had something else about they were comparing. The Simone Biles gold medal bonus was $37,500, and one of God, it wasn't. I can't remember which country it
It was
was.
Japan. No, Hong Kong. It's
Hong Kong, yeah.
$768,000
Yeah.
to win a gold medal.
Yeah. So it's like one thing is not like the other. So Liz Culkin put something on there on Jason's post, says, not sure bashing players on how they have to make choices to live their life and pay bills is the best way to express your opinion. Different players had different reasons why they are not going to bowl this event. I'm pretty sure if asked any one of them who are not, it wasn't because, well, I didn't feel like it or I'm just going to take this one off. We are all grateful for the opportunity to bowl and the proprietors who take us on, but please take into account how many of us have full-time jobs at home and the finagling we have to do to get time off and have 2 careers. As much as you were disappointed in us, I'm disappointed in this post. Samantha Knight also said, I couldn't have said it better. Unfortunately, our sport is one that requires you to have at least one job outside of competition if you're not in the top 0.5 of players on the earnings list. And that's just the reality, is that the women that bowl professionally have to have 2 careers.
Yeah, no. Liz works at like Hy-Vee or something like that.
Yeah.
She's like a produce manager. Or, I don't know
Mhm.
exactly what she does, but yeah, she's been there for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who the other one is. 79.
Samantha Knight is kind of a new one on the scene, but she's a lefty that throws it pretty good. She actually Kulik shared one of her posts here recently.
I probably recognize her if I saw her. Just the name itself doesn't stand out, and I don't mean disrespect to her or anything.
Yeah, well, it's just one of those things. I think she's one of the newer ones on the scene.
God, those jerseys are so sick.
Yeah.
We have to do those.
The cat and the dog jerseys.
We get both of them. You see those, Angel?
Yeah, there's Samantha. They just had her.
Oh,
on
okay.
There. Yeah, they had her on there the other day.
The cats with the ice cream and licking the ice cream cone and the dogs.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's old school.
Going through my grandma's stuff.
That's really old school. I remember riding those on the little projection screens. There you go, Luke.
Yeah. So
Here's a throwback.
Angel's grandma is not in her house anymore, and so they're kind of cleaning it out and doing old things. This was a league night.
That's so cool.
Back on the projector screens.
Where's that at?
I don't
Oh,
know.
it's Gate Center. Gate Center Bowl.
Dot
Yeah, she went by Dot. Her name was Dorothy.
and Sharon. I imagine that's your mom then.
Yeah.
Bowling with her.
Yep.
I've only bowled in a couple places that have ever done that. That's
And does this have a date anywhere on it?
I'm sure.
It should.
Grandma dated everything.
got to be one somewhere. I'll check
Yeah,
the corner.
there's got to be a. Yeah, I was going to say I'm looking at it backwards, but there's got to be a date somewhere. But yeah, if they're doing this on paper that was on a projector somewhere, it's 50 years anyway.
It was on the screens.
Yeah, the projector screens. Over the line!
Yeah. I used to keep score for her.
Pocket zero!
That was my first introduction to bowling, is I kept score for her.
So yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but people that actually have no idea how to keep score in bowling still, and there's
Yeah.
people that actually do it all the time, like bowl all the time, still have no idea how to score.
Yeah, and see that's the thing is it would definitely slow me down, but I can also the 7th frame you can look at that and see, okay, if I strike out, what am I going to end up with? It's easy to do the math, but when you add the, like you have a triple and then a 7 count, then you got to track it back. It's like, okay, well, it counts this here and then this here and whatever else. I wonder how many times somebody's scores were off because they did math wrong.
Oh yeah,
You had to have somebody scoring that actually knew very well how to do it. And there's some people now that can't even write the scores down off the monitor very well.
no. It's amazing though that you get the people though that were good at it. They were super quick at it. Like just look up, count, boom, done. 7, move on. 7 spare, boom.
Yeah, and you had to have somebody sitting there scoring and doing it full time.
Yeah,
There was you couldn't take time off. You had to be watching everybody that bowled, watching everything that happened.
Kraut said that was his first job. 10 years old, keeping score for tourneys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a couple in Kansas City that had them. Diamond Bowl had them in Independence. I used to love going there to see the old school scoring. And then I don't remember where there was another spot that I bowled at. It's obviously been changed out by now, but God, that's gonna bother me. But yeah, it's really cool to see it. Above ground ball returns and everything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing scoring is done for bowling too, especially centers, is how they can track games that have been bowled and all that stuff. So the technology helps them a lot too.
This is the Cryo Fresh Wet Hop IPA.
Wet hop.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's another IPA, huh?
Yeah. But yeah, I think this is one of those things where I don't think that Jason meant it to come across like he
That's
did.
really good.
But at the same time, it's one of those things that if you're somebody in that position, you've got to stop and really think through what you're posting before you post it.
Yeah. I agree with you, though. I really don't think he came across trying to come across the way that he did.
I really don't think he did. I think he was just disappointed. I think he was really excited about the idea and then just disappointed that it seemed like the interest wasn't there. And I think that the interest, like Liz Culkin said, I think that the interest, it didn't have anything to do with interest. It had to do with logistics for the women.
Yeah,
And
because
then-
they're bowling next week.
Yeah.
So a lot of them had to go back for a week to work because, if I remember right, aren't they gone another week just for the tour? Yeah. So August 6th to the 13th. So they're gone a whole another week just to do the tour championships.
Yeah. So, yeah, Nico said pull up the prize fund.
I did. I was already talking about it.
Yeah. So it was, $4,200 for 10th, split 3 ways. It's $1,400.
Oh, you took prize fund for that, or were you talking about
the trios.
Oh, yeah.
So first place with $30,000. So
I think most people read that price fund thinking that's each, not split.
that was the other thing, is that's what somebody responded to me and said, I don't know, I think that 3 days of work for $10,000 or 3 days of work for $30,000 and a title sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
That's not how bowling works these
That's
days.
split 3 ways. Which that winning the Luci, they got a title, but they only got $2,500 a piece. But it's a fundraiser tournament.
Yep.
And there's the prestige of the tournament and whatever else. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really not there to make money. They're there.
Yeah.
I mean, winning $2,500 a piece is still not bad. But
that's a little different story. Which there's a little bit there's more money in the trios tournament.
that is chump change to win, though.
Granted. But at the same time, there's a whole different reason to go to the Luci or holiday doubles or something like that. That's one of those tournaments that's like, okay, well, you could definitely make more money doing something else. I just want to go to this tournament. I just have to go to this tournament.
I mean, you'll make just as much money to win the trios. You'll actually make more money to bowl the Springfield doubles than you would bowling the PBA the trios.
Yeah.
You win $5,000 a piece.
Yeah, the Springfield doubles that's happening first weekend of
next week.
Oh yeah, it is next week.
Yep.
Crap.
Yep.
And
they're doing a golf tournament this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it pisses me off. I'm not bowling this year. Wife won't let me bring bowling balls because I was going to try and bowl the sweeper. She won't let me.
Yeah, we were thinking about.
It's time to sneak them on.
That's what I said.
Yeah, we need to.
I just want to bowl the Friday night, the sweeper. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to kind of just go down there and maybe get involved in the Calcutta and whatever else, because that's
Friday night.
Yeah, there's people that just go for the Calcutta. They're not bowling. They just want to go bet on the Calcutta.
Oh yeah. Oh, even Brent and I guys were running us up on the Calcutta.
Yeah.
I'm like, even if I showed interest, they're like, it's minimum 25, up 50, up 75. I think it ended up by us for like 150. And I'm like, don't be a D bag.
Yeah.
Don't be a D bag. I don't remember who it was, but that Calcutta, there's a lot of money thrown around. And it's Friday night after the sweeper. Yeah. I think we ended up walking out of there. It's pretty late. I bet it was 11:30 midnight time we walked down there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I would definitely go down to Springfield, Branson, whatever else, and hang out there for the weekend and not bowl. That'd be fine with me.
It is a lot of fun to watch.
We did that one year.
That's right. You did your vlog thing. Your vlog deal.
I actually bowled it. I bowled with Lockwood. That's the first year that they did it. I bowled with Lockwood.
Oh, I forgot you bowled. Yeah.
Wasn't that the year you guys actually bowled on House?
No.
No, it was. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't like super difficult, but it was challenging. Because I can remember we were close enough on the first squad to think, yeah, if we can put together a little bit better squad, and then we bowled the second squad, and we were doing well for like 4 games, and then the wheels started falling apart. We were close to making the second day, but
Well, they went back to House for a couple of years, and then they did the House pattern. Last year when we bowled, it wasn't the House.
mm-hmm.
The gutters were super wet, and the middle's hooked. It was I don't remember what pattern it was. You had to make shots.
Yeah.
But the scores were there. Scores were big. Obviously, you get the guys with the million rev rates and whatnot that when they hook. That building naturally hooks anyways. But like I'm telling you, to the right, they were like just tight to the right. So this year I saw that they're going back to a challenge pattern again.
Yeah.
It might even be sport.
I think that's kind of what people wanted. It's like, well, we don't want something super. Again, it's just like what I was saying earlier about J.R. Raymond. He's like, if you can get the scoring pace between 210 and 220, that's where it's the best combination of making people show up, rewarding them for good shots, but not punishing them if they're perfect, or if they're not perfect. And I think that's about the best range of where you really want it to be at. You want to keep people honest, but you want to reward good shots at the same time, and that lives in a kind of average scoring pace of 210 to 220. The good bowlers are going to average 230, maybe 235. You might have a random 240 up there if somebody really gets hot or whatever. But if you go out there and you average 210, 215, you're going to be in the mix or in the conversation.
Oh, absolutely. And I was going to look that up real quick. I don't know if I have my Facebook on here, but there's.
But yeah, this is the thing for the trios tournament. You can't continually ask people to bankrupt themselves to support bowling tournaments.
No,
I mean, people have to have, because of the way the bowling is right now. People have to have, as bad as they want to bowl something. Because I wanted to bowl a lot more of Dave and Mike's tournaments this year. But we just can't afford to spend $500 or $500 to $1,000 every month on bowling tournaments. As bad as we want to support stuff and whatever else, we just can't do $500, $600, $700 in tournament fees every month.
Not to mention the patterns were awful.
Yeah, well, there's that too.
Well, that comes back to the no chance of that's not the scoring pace that you.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, and we never have all these tournaments. The tournaments that we do go to, we have zero chance of cashing in any of them ever. And so it's one of those things. It's like, okay, do we have $500 to blow this weekend? And do we really want to blow it on this?
And that's usually no.
Yeah. So because we already have especially if I add the doubles tournament in February in Hayes, and then we have Southwest.
Oh, that one's not bad though.
In
That one's
March.
only like literally $50 to bowl.
Yeah, but if we go down there and stay the night before, it'll be a few $100 weekend because we'll go down there the night before, and then we'll go eat and have some drinks and whatever else, and we'll bowl the tournament.
It is a fun one to bowl though, just like I said, because of the Calcutta and everything like that. It is a fun little tournament to bowl. It gets packed in there, and it's a tiny little center in a shopping mall, but it's really nice. Like for being where it's at, it's a really nice little center.
Yeah. And then we have Southwest in March.
Yeah.
And then what else do we have?
Oh God, that means my March is busy.
We normally have the Easter tournaments at Royal Crest.
Yep, they are.
Yep. And then Springfield, which is a bigger deal now that we have our Discord group.
Yep.
And little mini vacation. And then we have Nationals in July.
KCO.
Yeah, then we have KCO in September.
Yep.
And then we have Tulsa in October. And it's just one of those things that you travel so many times, and it's just how many times can I spend all this money and you're spending money the entire year bowling league, and whatever else. Like, how much money can you spend on this constantly?
Yeah, especially if nothing's coming back.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. If you're making a little bit back, it's a little manageable.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is that, I got some back from Tulsa. We got some back from Springfield. Or not, well, not Springfield, but
yeah,
Wichita.
Here and there, and you would get some.
Yeah, even if
you used to get stuff.
Yeah, I used to get some every once in a while. And
there's the one we bowled the doubles together, and you and I won the eliminator, I think. And Angel and Amanda cashed. We made more money in the eliminator than they did cash.
Yeah,
something's wrong with their payouts. Yeah. I wasn't mad at you guys. I was mad at the payouts.
Amanda was like, "How is that even possible? We had to work our butt off. You guys."
I nearly hung him though at the end.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I thought there was no way in hell she was telling the truth. I was like, "What?"
But yeah, it's one of those things that you gotta give somebody an incentive to show up at some point. You can't have somebody have to get in the top 10 of a professional tournament to break even. That's just not something that should happen. And if that is something that's on the table, it's like, well, this shouldn't be on. I mean,
well, I think it goes back to like your comment earlier, though, as far as the tournaments you were talking about, how great they were. They're giving you a reason to show up.
Yeah. Even if, some of the tournaments are, in Swiss Trios, I forgot again, that's at the end of Swiss Trios. So we have two things. We have KCO, which is always a huge weekend, earlier in September. And then we have Swiss Trios at the end of September.
Which is 100. No, it's 200 a bowl.
It's,
raised it up, didn't
it's 200 a person now.
200 a man to bowl.
Yeah. That's it. You can take everything else away. Tulsa sucks. But
you bowled, time out. You bowled.
Now that it's a broken arrow and I know the play, that is one of those where I will almost apologize for being a lefty, because you just throw the ball down 5 the entire time and it's free. It's completely free. If I shoot anything, because the entire tournament's there, if I shoot less than 2,100, it's a failure of a year. Significant failure of a year. Yeah, somebody shot 825 today.
On the last squad. Very last squad.
So that's where I was, man.
Yeah, I know you carried me this time around. Then you and I bowled pretty good together, at least in Wichita. Doubles.
Yeah. Wichita doubles.
I think we both had 700 apiece, didn't we?
Yeah, that's the thing. And now that I know the play at Southwest, that's going to be fine. But if I, and again, it's one of those things. There's enough pros and enough people that show up to Swiss Trios. It's like, realistically, we're not going to seriously compete with the people that show up to Swiss Trios. Nothing against us, but there's some really good bowlers.
I'm not going to lie to you, though. I don't think there's any way, shape, or form, if we can find a way to get comfortable and get just one lined up, just make good shots, we can hang.
Swiss Trios is about playing it correctly. You don't want to be like, you don't want to bowl too well, but you want to put yourself in like the middle of the pack going to the last day, and then you hit those matchups and get 4 points, 5 points, 4 points, just really kind of climb the ladder quickly in the last day. You want to position yourself there, but at the same time, it's one of those that if I had to give everything else up to bowl Swiss Trios is the one that I would absolutely keep.
Oh yeah,
out of the year. Yeah. If I had to give up Southwest, Tulsa, whatever else, Springfield maybe not, but that's just because it's not because of Springfield, it's because of the trip around it. But I would give up.
Letting you give up Springfield.
Okay, if it wasn't for the trip, if it wasn't for the trip itself,
I would give up.
I would boot Springfield in heartbeat.
Yeah.
I hate that tournament.
Just the bowling tournament. Screw the tournament. We'll just take the vacation.
That's why I'm being a sub. I'm not bowling.
I hate that tournament.
But
I'll put you on the sub list too if you like.
Do you know what the guy's name is?
Yeah, I recognize the name.
Is it Jeremy Hatcher or something like that?
No, he lost it to somebody.
Yeah, he did lose it to somebody.
So yeah, it's not it's Jeremy Hutchinson or something like that. I know
right the there.
Name is, yeah. Jason Hollingsworth.
Way off. Samsonite.
Yeah, Samsonite. I was way off.
Jason Hollingsworth, yeah.
Yeah, Hollingsworth, he's a player.
He did the exact same thing Brad was doing, though, too.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he's a player. So.
Hey, touche, though. The last squad, though, how big of a kick in the leg is that?
Mm-hmm. Damn. Yeah, well, Chris Vi wins all events Eagle on final squad.
In 2021?
Yeah. Somebody asked, it's like, yeah, didn't Chris Vi win? Yeah.
The last squad, yeah.
That's rough.
They'll still get a good check.
It was kind of funny because I remember we were doing. I was doing the bowler show with Dave when Alex George shot 840, 848.
Yep.
And we went super late that year too. And I remember seeing Jake Peters had like 579 after
he
two.
gave it a run.
Yeah, and we were there, and I was watching, and I'm like, holy crap. And then he ended up with like the front six the last game, and I'm like, oh no. I mean, like, I would have felt awful for Alex, especially, I mean, 815 is that's one of those you worry about the entire time. 850 is one that you just don't worry about whatsoever ever. But Jake Peters goes 300, 279, and then has the front six the last game, and I'm going, oh my god! Like Jake Peters is one of those guys that I would absolutely have loved for him to do it, but not to Alex George.
I mean, I'm also sitting here too thinking, okay, 815's held all this way. There's one squad left. We're good, right? Like we're done. We're done. It's not happening.
Especially after it's held up for like 6 weeks or something.
Yeah.
2 solid months, something like that.
That's crazy.
But yeah, and then Jake went like front six, big four.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So it was whether I felt really bad for Jake, but I felt really good for Alex.
Jake's one of the good guys in this game.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a ton of them out there.
One of the awards he wins too. What is it?
One of the sportsmanship awards
Yeah.
or something.
He usually wins the Steve Nagy.
Mm-hmm.
There.
Yeah, the Nagy Award. But yeah, Peters is if you've never had the pleasure to talk to him or meet him, he's one of the good guys out there. So I'll always root for that guy. And his wife that passed away, I grew up bowling with her too. So I knew Melissa really well. Her former name was Melissa Hurst.
Yeah,
that was her name. She was a great bowler.
Yeah, the couple of years that I was doing the GMJBTs, I bowled against her several times. So
yeah, she was a good bowler. She bowled at Wichita State too.
Yeah.
I don't know if she did all 4 years at Wichita State bowling. I know she graduated.
She was at Newman for a couple of years.
Okay.
And then ended up at
WSU.
Wichita State.
Yeah, she could bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Very smooth game. I didn't even know she was sick, and then it all got posted around. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, 35 or something.
It's another pro, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got to hear about 17 minutes.
Yep, we're getting close.
It's been a good discussion tonight, though.
Yeah.
Happy to be back live and in the flesh.
Yeah, we've had enough to talk about too, where it's gone kind of fast. Let me see here. I've got something. Let me grab this really quick.
Did we want to? Oh, I'll let you do your thing. Go ahead.
I got to meet Thomas Stead, who does the Nexus backpack or whatever. He was in Vegas the same time we were.
Oh, cool.
And I'm not gonna lie, I've been talking to him for a couple of years, and he sent me the first bag, sent me the second bag, and whatever else. I thought he was, and he's a veteran and designed the Nexus bag based on the rucksack, the military rucksacks. It just made it. He thought this would make a really good bowling bag if I just tweak it. I thought he was like 60 or 65, but he's R8. He's 35, 40, and just jacked. He had to have been a Marine or a Navy SEAL or something like that.
Did you ask him? Was he?
No, I didn't ask him. I probably should.
Just sir, you're built
if he watches this later. But yeah, he's just one of those dudes that's like, okay, well, I thought, retired veteran, somebody that would sit around and design a bowling bag or whatever else. I just imagine that he was 60 or 65. It's like, no.
It looks just like military backpacks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a ruck, and yeah, the V2
he was
again.
there with all his military people, like that was what his teams were made of.
That's cool.
Yeah. And yeah, I haven't had he sent me the V2 and I did the review for it, and all the little quality of life adjustments. I have had zero issues, and I like the first bag. I didn't really have any issues with the first bag, but he made a bunch of quality of life adjustments. It stands up better. There's better reinforcing around the mesh, around the shoe pouch. It's got YKK zippers on it, and so they're silkier. He kind of changed up the pouches a little bit. He changed up how the attachable pouches and whatever else worked, and so it's just a little bit of quality of life stuff. But it's such a good experience now. He sent me a bowler's journal,
Not to
So
be confused with the bowler's room.
Yeah. But just one of those things for somebody that likes to take notes, or maybe I use Pen Pal just to keep track of my stuff. And obviously this is not going to do stats, but there are an awful lot of pros that like to carry around booklets like this, because in something like Pen Pal, I don't even know why I put the bowling ball I use in there, because it doesn't save it. And you can't put notes in there and whatever else. And so he sent me this, and he's like, I came up with this thing. And so the first, we've got a arsenal list.
Oh, that's cool.
And he recommends using pencil, because if you go through a lot of stuff, you can put notes on there on your ball arsenal, where Pen Pal will let you put something in there, but it'll just be like, okay, well, this is your ball list, but it didn't have any information about the balls.
That's really cool.
And then the entire thing is
back to scoring by hand.
Yeah. So it's scoring by hand, but you can pick. So I'll put this right up there. So it's got at the top the lanes you're on, the balls you're using, the pattern, the center. It's got in the S, TB, BP, stand, target board, breakpoint board, and then you can put notes down there too. And so this, I think, would be great to be paired with Pen Pal, because Pen Pal will give you the stats on everything, but there's a lot of stuff that you can put down here that Pen Pal's not going to be able to track. And so it's an entire book full of, you've got an entire book full of being able to keep track of leagues, tournaments, whatever else.
That's a pretty good sized little book too.
Yeah. It's got, I didn't count the pages.
That is like a golf book, because what hole you're on, where you play.
Yeah.
You can't do that in the app.
Yeah, there's a lot more
cool.
things. I think that this would be great paired with the app. Because again, any kind of a bowling app you use, it's going to give you the stats on stuff. But at the same time, you can kind of, if you go through this and you look at the notes, and if you just kind of thumb through a couple pages, you can see it's like, okay, well, you don't necessarily need. I don't need Pen Pal to tell me that I have a problem picking up 7 pins.
Yes.
I
Paper
know.
can do that for you.
Yeah. When you
I'm
can look
kidding.
through and see, okay, well, I missed a 7 pin. It's like, okay, well, I don't need to see that I'm 70% on 7 pins to know that I have a problem picking them up. Plus, there's an awful lot of extra stuff. So this is available on the website now. I think I do have a link to the Nexus backpack.
In the
Or
description.
Nexus bag. Yeah, it's probably in the description. I think I have
looking.
a link to the general website.
I'm looking. Nexus
yeah,
backpack you do right there.
Stand breakpoint target. So this will get more in depth than an app will. I think that the app would actually supplement this rather than the other way around. So if you want to take your note taking a little bit more seriously, and there's a lot of bowlers that do this. This is something where you can't put lane characteristics or pair characteristics into it. That's why so many pros carry around books like this or lists or whatever else, so that they can put, okay, well, 33 and 34, 33 hooks 2 boards more than 34. You can't put that into an app.
Goodness.
There's a lot of extra things that you can do with this that you can't do with the app. So this is I don't really think that there's anything else like this specifically designed for bowling on the market. So I think this was a really great idea. I don't think it's that expensive either.
Got your nose.
So I got a link in the description to hit the Nexus website.
Yep, it's there. It takes you right to the backpacks, but you can find it on the website. That'll have the book on there.
Buck.
We got about 10 minutes now, so that was a good little roll over to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else on the backpack and stuff?
The backpack's amazing. The backpack has been flawless.
They're good size. They
Since
got a
I
lot
got
of storage.
The 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 2.0 has been awesome.
Actually, when the 2.0 first showed up, I was here live with you, and you actually opened it up. And we kind of messed around with it for a second.
Yeah. The other Brunswick releases that they announced at Expo, I'm going to start with Angel with the Mesmerize tomorrow.
Very pretty looking.
Yeah.
I love the colors.
I can start putting up videos for that tomorrow, and I can kind of talk about it since they already announced them. Typically, they don't announce them until the certain day.
Yep.
But everybody knows that they're coming. I can release video. We can start putting up videos for them tomorrow. So it's going to be Angel with the Mesmerize. Angel, we drilled the Mesmerize and Stealth Hybrid for her. I got the Vaporize and the Atlas Hybrid, which was very surprising. And then Jesse, our two-hander, is
Scorpion.
He's getting the Hitter Pearl and the Rattler Big Bite.
Oh. What's the new Scorpion? It's the Scorpion Strike, isn't it?
Scorpion Strike, and I've thrown that quite a bit. I've thrown that quite a bit already.
I think Amanda's going to be getting one of those, and I think I'm going to get her a Mesmerize. I think.
Yeah, the Mesmerize looked really, really good for Angel.
Scorpion Strike looks really good too. Wilkins was throwing that at Gage with us. We bowled singles and doubles. He shot 300 with that ball actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't bowling doubles with him. He's in my group and on my team event, but.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he shot 300 with the Scorpion Strike.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. I'm going to be taking the Vaporize and Atlas Hybrid to league this week. Probably the Atlas really surprised me. I like the look of the original, the solid.
Mm-hmm.
This one's the hybrid's very clean and sharp. It's in RST X2 territory,
right? Just
like an Arrow Stronger. Hashtag HK22. The Vaporize is it's something that it's one of those figures of speech that people would use 10 or 15 years ago to say this is just It's something I can tell you off camera, but it's not something I can say on camera.
OMG, Becky.
Yeah. The Vaporize is ridiculous.
That's what Drew Knudsen was telling me. He was telling me that it's really good.
It's absolutely filthy.
They,
absolutely filthy.
I think it was Drew. May not have been Drew. Maybe it was Zach. I don't remember. Somebody told me it was really, really good.
It's nasty.
Must have. I think it was Wilkins. Wilkins had to have told me. Hell, I don't remember. I just remember talking to somebody that had thrown it and said something about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's black. Dark balls always look good, anyways.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. I don't get excited for bowling balls anymore because I go through so many of them that even if I do get excited for them, I'm just not going to be throwing them a couple months later because they're going to be new stuff constantly cycling through.
You got to get excited somewhere at some.
Yeah, the vape. I had so much success with the Zone line when they came back out with it, like Time Zone, Vapor Zone, Blast Zone, Red Zone, all that stuff. If it said Zone on it there for a while, I was shooting something with it. And it has the Vapor Zone core, but just an upgraded. Well, so it's got the Vapor Zone core, but it's got one of the additives from the Hammer Effect, and then Evo Pearl added from the Evo line.
Oh, okay.
So it's
because the Mesmerize is that's a big strong ASIM, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big strong ASIM solid, but it's got a lot of shape for how much it hooks.
Okay.
It's like it looks like the Mindset, but it's just stronger than the Mindset, stronger and faster.
Okay. The Mindset was really good too, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you like the Mindset?
The Mindset was good. What you doing, Skeeter?
If it'd show up, I'd show how my Envy Tour, one of my stash Envy Tours showed up.
Yeah.
I won't put the company on full blast. They're making it right, so we're good.
Yeah.
They made us take pictures of every side of the box, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like how everything was like, really? The ball still has the damn sticker on it.
Yeah.
Like, you can see where it's tracking when I picked it up and sent the email to you. I'm not trying to finesse you out of another Envy Tour. I'm just...
Mm-hmm.
That's all I throw, man. So I want a case of them.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
There's something. I thought there was a deal in here. Never mind.
Yep. I think we're just gonna wrap her up here.
That's fine.
Pretty quick.
Yeah. Unless anybody's got anything else to say in here, we're gonna go ahead and finish up for the night. It was a good chat, good talk. Bashed on the USBC for a little bit. Not really bashed on them.
Yeah.
They do good things and they do bad things.
Mm-hmm.
Really curious to see how next year turns out in Baton Rouge with the back to the convention center style.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that again. Just something different. I did Vegas the bowling wasn't great, but Vegas was very fun this year. The trip was great.
If I remember right, last time we were in Baton Rouge, the approaches were awful. Granted, you don't have that
I
problem.
don't have to worry about that. The more humid, it's going to be humid down there, but the more humid, the better, because I don't want to accidentally slide.
Luckily, we're going in April, so it shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, I think we're going a little bit earlier this year because they don't want to go so late in July anymore. But it's still going to be June, I'm pretty sure.
Well, June's
yeah.
hot.
We met Bobby, Hannah, Two-Handed Beast.
Yeah.
Oh, I got some stickers for you too.
Stickers for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. He sent some stickers back, and so I got to give you some stickers.
Sweet. Well, thank you, Bobby.
Yeah, his avatar there or whatever. The stickers are really cool, and then there were some other ones that was.
It's so small, I can't really see it from here.
Yeah,
so.
The stickers look really cool though.
I'll put them on my fridge.
But yeah, next year should be fun. We'll probably go a little bit earlier, and then I'll have Nationals video here hopefully in the next week or two. I'd imagine the tournament's over, so they should. It takes an email, but they probably have 1 million emails to send out. So
I have it out. Yeah.
We'll see how fast that actually goes and how fast I get them up, and then we've got a couple more weeks of the summer doubles league before we start. The draft is 2 weeks from this coming Thursday. It's on the 15th.
Oh, Ken, you're going in April. You might see me down there.
Yeah.
We're going the week before Easter. And are we planning on having a draft show, right? Doing a draft show?
Yeah, it's just naturally going to fall because the next 2 weeks from now, the next breakdown pair is going to be the Monday of the week that we draft, and they should have the draft list. They should have the draft list up, and so we're going to do that. And I'm going to do a separate one with James at some point to really, really dig deep. I don't want to clog up the breakdown pair because I know that you guys don't know who we're bowling with, and so taking an entire 2 hours to bog down the whole thing talking about a draft that nobody has any idea about. We'll talk a little bit about it because the league in general is really interesting and have some fun with it. But then I'll have a more dedicated draft show with James for those of you that want to check that out. But that'll be fun to get back into the swing of league things. I'm definitely a captain one way or the other.
I may be still.
You're on the bubble depending on, and Jesse's never sure that we're going to get to 18 teams every year again. Because it used to be, we always hovered around 12 to 14.
Yeah.
And then 1 year it hopped from 14 to 18, and then it's just stayed there.
Yeah.
And we've had to, there's been a couple of years we've had to turn like 12, 13, 14 people away. So
I talked to Larry the other day, and Larry said he still thinks it's 18, but his feelings wouldn't be hurt at 16 because we can bring position round back in, which I like position rounds.
I did like the position round. So I think the league works really well at 16 or 18. And we felt bad because there have been years that we could have gone to 20, but that just wrecks the league season.
Well, it just makes us go longer.
Yeah, either makes us go longer, or you just randomly don't bowl one team or the other, and that can
screw some things up.
That can really screw some things up, and so we've always kept it. It's going to be a max of 18, but I would be okay at 16 or 18.
Oh, I am too. I'm good at 18. I prefer to stay at 18 if we can. But 16, I'd be okay. That way we can bring back in, like you said, the position round. So position round can really change, especially if it's tight, can really change that last week dynamic of the half. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It brings a little more excitement into the half. So.
Yeah, I would definitely not mind having a position round. I think at 14 teams, we had 2 position rounds. And I actually think when we had 12 teams, I think we actually did thirds with 12 teams.
That sounds about right.
I think we actually had 3 thirds, but with 14 teams, we had 2 position rounds. Pretty sure.
No. And I only have one more week of the doubles league left. This week's my last week.
Okay.
Because I'm in Branson last week.
The next. Okay.
Yep. Which that last week there's not really much going on. It's payout and kind of how it is anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. Do you even completely bowl that week, or is it optional? Because you kind of got to pay out before bowling.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Because I know that we have the league meeting and the draft on the 15th. Yeah. I think we bowl the next 2 weeks, and then.
So I'm planning on being in the meeting, but I don't know. I'll be there, but
Yeah.
I mean, I may have to be there anyway, so we'll find out.
I'm not sure how that's going to work out.
I don't know. It's 8 o'clock.
Yep. When are you trying to get Rhino on the show? We need to just.
I need to reach out to him.
Yeah, we just need to do something about that. And then we were going to have Brad on the show. I'm not sure if Brad wants to.
Let me
talk
give him a
about
couple
it.
weeks.
Yeah, we'll give him a couple weeks. I would be beside myself almost.
The boys had he's used to it. He'll bounce back quick.
Yeah. That's one of those things that's going to be really disappointing for right now because all he had to do was get through today.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a tour title yet, but getting an eagle is awful high up there for a lot of them. That's really, really close.
Winning an eagle right there would have really have made would have softened things on how bad of a season.
Yeah. This was instead of canceling it out, it was kind of a punctuation
Also
mark.
could have helped take some of that loss away from the pocketbook too.
Yeah.
But
I think he's still going to make plenty of money in year-long brackets and all that stuff. I'm sure he got a lot of that stuff.
I think Trevor wants to come on too, so we might even be able to get him and Rhino at the same time. He mentioned the other day that he'd like to get on and do it again. So,
Yeah, and that actually would be to have him and Rhino on at the same time would be good. So
get two lefties, another lefty on there.
yeah, we just need to make that
Lefties.
happen
Yeah, I
before the kiddo shows up too. Nice, Mistel. I know, sweetie. Yep, you did come back to your bed, didn't you, sweetie?
Yeah, I was putting stuff on her crate. She didn't like it.
Yeah.
Oh,
You should go, Mistel. I know.
I guess 2 weeks, same time, same place.
We will be back. So,
Goodbye.
yep. Thanks everybody for hanging out. It was a good time. Got plenty of ball videos coming, and I've actually got some different ideas coming too. I'm going to do a Q&A series where I just take some different questions and kind of go through them and
Sweet.
talk about some random stuff. So